It's oh wait, did we just go live?
There was an error. Give it a
Oh,
second.
well, I did the first 15 seconds of the opener, but welcome guys. Welcome to today's episode of Market Check, hosted by BB. A reminder, as always, there is no second best live YouTube stream to talk about markets. Welcome guys to our first show of the week. And yeah, spirits are high in the crypto market as ETH once again attempts to break out from this 4K resistance, this 4K hell that it has been in for a long time, right? That's been consistently rejecting price, but we're peaking above it. We're trading almost at 4,300. Are we getting close to the end of this rally, or is this the beginning? We're going to debate it on today's Market Check show. But welcome, guys. I'm Snorlax. You also know me as Tommy. I'm joined by Max, Louis, and of course, Chef Jackus. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I would say I hope you weren't checking your phone for the prices, but it was a very green weekend. So I'm going to assume that that was probably not the case. Before we can... yeah, I did see Pendle's really been outperforming. We can talk about that coin too. I've got a friend that's been cooking on longs on that one, so I'm happy for him. But before we can talk about all things ETH, I'm sure I mean, Bitcoin towards the latter end of the weekend started to show some strength as well. And I mean, it kind of feels like majors in general are just really primed to move higher. Before we can talk about that, I'm going to ask if you guys can hit the like button. ETH is above 4K. If we cannot hit the like button during this week, during today, then we're never going to hit the like button again, man. And I don't want to look at soybeans on a day where where the market is.
You got to bring back that soybean. We're going to be strict with that again. It's not okay. We're bullish.
Don't make me look at soybeans, man. Don't make me look at soybeans today, please. Please, I'd love to talk about ETH and other shit coins. No, let's talk about the market. We are getting a pullback today, right? So I don't want to ignore the fact that we're seeing some red here to open the week. I will say it's something that we've talked about before. It's a pretty textbook bull market setup to see the lows of the week set on a Monday. We have CPI print tomorrow. Right now, we're not really seeing too much downside pressure in equity markets, though. Ahead of that, Tesla's up 4 to 5%, so they might have something cooking on that chart. I think the market as a whole, though, still, you know, it clearly has a big appetite for risk, and I almost wonder if we're underestimating how big that appetite can be, and that could be reflected, hey, in the performance of ETH here over the next few weeks, which is attempting, or probably already has, I guess it just depends on how you want to phrase it, right? A breakout of 4K, contextually significant, structurally significant. I mean, ETH is trading at cycle highs and currently consolidating above them, right? So as long as that doesn't turn into a deviation, I have to think ETH is getting ready to trend more meaningfully. How much higher, how much more meaningfully in the near term, who knows? Maybe to some degree it'll be correlated with equities. It'll certainly be correlated with Bitcoin. But if we're getting kind of into this regime where Bitcoin and ETH are just kind of, I was going to make a joke. I was going to wait for ETH to trade a little bit higher. But I mean, we're not far away from the point where people can make a joke like, oh yeah, Bitcoin and ETH going band for band with the price appreciation. Sorry, that was a really bad joke. But we're not far away from a market regime where that's the case, right? So like I said, ETH broke 4K over the weekend. Bitcoin is showing strength, trying to break above kind of its cycle highs that it set 2 weeks ago. And if that's the case, you know, it's you really just let the majors lead, and eventually people will move down the risk curve. It has happened during every bullish regime that we've had throughout this market cycle. So beta is lagging a little bit, but I think we're seeing these slow grinds from altcoins that are ultimately very healthy and pointing towards ultimately higher prices. But yeah, let's talk about it, guys. How are we doing? How was our weekend? What are we seeing in the markets? What are we trading? And what is the most intriguing thing about the market other than the fact that ETH is breaking out of 4K?
Good morning, everybody. I don't think there's anything more exciting than what ETH is doing. I think it's I guess it's maybe up for debate, but it's we haven't ever seen ETH really spend time above 41, 4,200. And we're kind of on the brink of that. So you could say, well, we haven't broken out yet. Maybe you're right. We're very, very close. We're trying to, but we are an arm's length away from breaking out of a 4-year plus range for ETH, which is from like 2K to 4K. I'm rounding up and down a little bit. But yeah, it's looking really, really prime for higher, guys, like in a very, very big way. So I think a lot of people are just going to be completely caught off sides on this ETH trade as it ramps up and things get crazier. But I'll tell you this, when ETH starts pumping, it's kind of a vacuum. And when ETH starts pumping, it has a way of absolutely punishing you. Maybe you're already long ETH. It'll punish you in other ways. You know, it's gonna be. There's a lot of ways to mess this up, but I remember very, very distinctly from last cycle, the regime shift to Ethereum was pronounced, it was obvious, it was aggressive. I think when ETH can really start cooking above this level, and we probably finish this little Monday shakeout, I think things can get pretty out of control, right? And I actually also really love the like Pepe FUD that's going on right now. It's an underperformer. Pepe's not moving. Like, that's perfect. It's exactly what we want, because Pepe also has a way of boring everybody to death, making people lose faith in it. And then you get like 2 to 4 weeks of just absolute mania, right? And that's going to happen when ETH really confirms that this is, in fact, a breakout of a 4-year range and not just another stab towards the 41, 4,200 level. So it should be time, guys. It should be time. And especially with like Bitcoin looking very strong also, and Bitcoin dominance, in my view, looking like, kind of a little bearish retest. I think it's a perfect regime. I don't think you could really orchestrate a much better setup, I don't. I think it looks really, really exciting. So that's how I'm viewing it. But, one thing to consider is like I could see there is a CME gap on Bitcoin that's, maybe going down to like 119. So maybe we could see like 119, 118.5 if they need to fill that gap. More times than not, they do. But when we get really bullish, sometimes they leave behind CME gaps for months, if not years. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be putting all my eggs in the basket of, hey, that gap is going to fill. But
I
this
didn't
could
realize
get
how
really
much.
spicy this week.
Yeah, I didn't realize how much of a catch up Bitcoin played later in the weekend. I was
That's
really
super
big into that.
bullish, by the
Yeah.
way, I think. Sorry for interrupting you. I just
No,
wanted
you're good. Yeah, I was at the zoo yesterday with my kids. First time going to the zoo. I think 100 men can definitely take on a gorilla. First of all, that's a fact. But yeah, I mean, I haven't looked at much chart since like early Saturday morning, but I didn't realize how much of a catch up Bitcoin has played, pushing back to the all time highs. ETH breaking 4K. Who could have foreseen? Right? Who could have foreseen? Things look great. I'm extremely bullish here, as I have been. Right. And you're seeing wonderful moves off altcoins as well. Something like a Link. Wow, what a move off Link over the last couple days. Like, let's pull it up, shall we? Sure, you don't want to stare at my face the whole time. But yeah, like moves like this, and this is what I was talking about, like higher low season. A lot of alts were in shove spots. Beautiful double bottom here. Hard retest, right? Boom. Meat stick, right? That's a nice move out of Link for the last 3 days. Yeah, like high cap altcoins are going to continue to surprise a lot of people in this market, and that's kind of what I've been talking about. Big money's going to bid this stuff. Big money's going to bid these altcoins. You're going to see a lot of liquidity flow into altcoins like this. Loving what I'm seeing, right? Loving what I'm seeing. I want to see what the What's the weekly chart look like for ETH here? Oh yeah. Look at that weekly meat stick. Yeah, I haven't looked at any of this yet, guys. You guys are getting front row seats to live reactions here. That's, I talked about this throwback and the weekly hold last week, or 2 weeks ago, holding this weekly downtrend, right? This downtrend back from old all-time highs that's been capping us for 4 years. We got above it. We held 2 weeks above it. Boom. That's a beautiful weekly candle close, guys. We're getting the 4K breakout on the weekly. I expect follow through, right? Doesn't have to be this week, right? We could see some retracement. We could see some pause, some consolidation up here. But a weekly candle such as this one, within the next couple weeks, we should be trading up with the all-time high, right? So again, doesn't mean today, doesn't mean tomorrow. Totally can, right? We could see immediate continuation. But this is the key, right? Breaking range highs, weekly close above that key 4K level that's been capping us for years. ETH's ready to send. ETH's ready to send. And this is a confirmation of a multi-year price pinch breakout here. Things are happening in real time here.
Louis, are you thinking we could stick the landing this week, or do you think we're going to chop above that red box?
I don't know, because I was going to say this. I was like, if we were going to spend a couple more weeks down here and then we broke out, I thought we were just going to fly, right? We spent about 2 weeks consolidating in here. I think we definitely stick the landing this week.
We could stick to landing.
You could stick to landing up here. And then we see what if we just talk like babies the entire show? It's tough to say. It makes a lot of sense to consolidate up here, right? But I think we squeeze higher first. Because this is a significant move, right? A lot of players that were waiting for this, right, a pullback like this to get involved, are now going to be forced to chase this move, right? But I think they're not going to really start chasing unless you really start, clearing this 4K level. You start pushing 44, 45, 4,600. Everyone who is sidelined waiting for this pullback that never came, they're going to be forced to FOMO and chase this move because the train's leaving the station, right? And then maybe you get that all-time high breakouts, ensue more FOMO, and then you get the big, maybe some big correction like this. Kind of similar to that fractal Jackus has showed. I guess is that Amazon fractal. That makes a lot of sense to me. So I think we continue to push here a little more. If not, totally fine. We just come back, we retest, maybe consolidate a little bit, and then continue on our merry way here. But amazing weekly close. That's a weekly meat stick if I've ever seen one.
So this guy starts seething. You want to bet me 100K that Pepe doesn't go to 50 billion? Because I would take that bet. I would take that bet with you. But you do have to escrow the 100K. You can be one of the guys on the show.
He says he has 200 billion Pepe. I don't know what that equates to in dollars, but
that would make him one of the top 100 holders, if that's true.
Right,
if you actually want to bet me $100,000 that Pepe doesn't go to 50 billion and you want to escrow the money, I will take that bet. Absolutely.
Wow.
But I don't know why you'd be rooting against your own bags if you actually hold that much Pepe. But I would take that bet. All right, who wants to escrow it? Tommy, can you escrow the money?
No, I don't want to get stuck in that line of fire, but
I've never done something like that, but if you need me to, I can. I could figure it out. It's not a big deal.
You just set up an ETH wallet and just hold it.
All right, yeah. All right, reach out.
All right, send Louis a DM on X.
Yeah. I like it. Yeah, let's look at I'll look at Bitcoin here for a second. Again, I really haven't seen a lot of this yet. Well, this is kind of the squiggle I had. You know, I wanted to see Bitcoin back above 117. We absolutely smashed that over the weekend. So love to see that. Oops. And this was a clear, like these were clear stacked high. We talk about stacked highs a lot, right? And that's just stacked liquidity, bang, bang, bang. And you see what happens when you run, you know, liquidity like this. Yeah, those shorts were not safe. They were not safe. So now you got that big explosion. Do we see a retest into 117? Flip it, stair step this, you know, pull back, higher low.
And we do have a CME gap right there too, Louis. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I think it depends how we close the day, right? You know, if you close the day looking like this, high wick, right? Yeah, maybe. Maybe it's a good possibility we come back. But if we start pushing into, you know, the end of the day, close a nice meaty candlestick here, you know, there's a great shot we're going to push up and leave this behind. I think that, you know, the daily close today will be important for Bitcoin. This would be totally acceptable, right? That makes a lot of sense. This could also be, you know, acceptable and make a lot of sense as well. We're already clearing these highs. I think where we close the day today will give a lot of information. But as we've seen now, ETH's leading this market, not Bitcoin, right? ETH is definitely leading this market. So we have been way more dependent on Bitcoin. As we've seen over the last couple of days, ETH led this move, and Bitcoin followed, right? So ETH can kind of do its own thing. Bitcoin can pull back, do whatever it kind of wants to do. But at the end of the day, I think ETH's leading this market. But obviously, I would like to see Bitcoin hold 117. I think that's the new must-hold level to continue this uptrend, right? You don't want this to be like a sweep and G, right? That would be concerning if you see something like this. So I would like to see 117 hold.
I think it will. I think for me, the fact that we had Bitcoin catch up to ETH on the weekend and that it wasn't Bitcoin distribution and then or while ETH is rallying, and instead you have, okay, Bitcoin actually showing strength. That's something that we haven't really seen since like 2020, 2021, in my opinion. I mean, that's kind of like what you will typically see before we start trending really hard. I know we've run up a lot on ETH here. This is the most obvious resistance on the chart. So I do have to preface it by saying that. But I mean, damn, we're talking about ETH breaking out of a multi-year range here from basically like its most significant psychological level in its history, right? In the same way that 100K was for Bitcoin. I don't think we're going to trade around 4K the same way Bitcoin traded around 100K, but it's psychologically and contextually significant. I feel like we're maybe underestimating, or maybe not this panel, but just in general, people are kind of underestimating the inertia that ETH has kind of been building up within this range. And I think not just USD buyers play a role in this, but look at ETH BTC, look at Sol ETH. We're actively watching those trades unwinding, and that plays a role too. You look at ETH's open interest, and ETH's open interest is basically trading as if ETH is at like 5,000 or 5,500. It might be even higher now, but that's what it was over the weekend. That is not all longs, I promise you. No, because ETH BTC and Sol ETH are both, I mean, they were kind of like linchpin trades throughout this cycle. And they were just kind of slowly grinding up and accruing value, and those trades became more and more crowded. And as we're seeing with Sol ETH right now, that unwind is not providing any bounces because it's not just sentimental, it's not just structural. You also have, I think, so like imagine if you're a large fund, right, and you're being delta neutral on these pairs. You have to unwind your short ETH positioning as well as your long Bitcoin and your long Sol positioning. And that's just, I think, going to create like this very steady buoy on ETH USD potentially. So that's something to watch. There's a real chance that ETH BTC is about to look just like Sol ETH. Maybe, I mean, technically it would be inverse, but I mean, Sol ETH has just ripped straight down with no bounces for like what, 50 or 60%. I don't know if it'll be quite as extreme on ETH BTC, but I would not underestimate the positioning unwind that's about to occur too, if this is really the breakout on ETH.
ETH BTC re-entering this range is huge. I mean, put it this way: if you compare this to ETH USD, look at what ETH USD did when it deviated the range, got back inside. ETH USD is up here now in just about 2 months. Does ETH BTC do that? Maybe. Right? Like Max says it all the time, ranges love symmetry, right? So you deviated the range low, very likely you're going to deviate the range high and then see what happens.
Like even more, Louis, the Ethereum dominance chart. It's
Jack, as you sound like you're about 200 miles from your mic.
I do not know what's going on. Maybe you just need to adapt, but I'm right in front of my mic. Is it still happening?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I know why. Maybe because it's on a different mic one side.
You're in the bathroom, aren't you?
It sounds like you're on a submarine.
Yeah, that's the reason it's on a different mic. Wait, I'll flip it.
Right now, and
Okay.
it should be on the different mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, because I run 2 mics, and this is the streaming one. It's better than the other one. The other one is on my headset. But I was saying that if we pull up the ETH dominance chart, it's even cleaner because it literally swept the lows of 2019, which is insane. But yeah, there is that old meme. Babe, please stop longing it. It's not going up. Double bottom. Double bottom, like and it starts sending, man, from 7% to nearly 14.
Yeah.
But hey, there is still room for another 7% higher.
Minimum. Yeah, I mean, if ETH got here in 2021, and I'm hearing some echo too, and we're seeing what we're seeing now with ETH and the treasury companies and everything like that, wouldn't it be safe to say that we surpassed this level from 2021? I don't want to get ahead of my skis, of course, right? But it's a whole different regime here, in my opinion.
I don't know if we're gonna surpass it like in the immediate term, but I do think it's something that I am heavily considering. If not possible, then I would call it like likely that we're gonna go above the 2021 highs for ETH. But it's such a dangerous it's like a dirty word or it's like a dirty thing to say because you're almost implying the flippening, which is that's a dangerous I want to let ETH pump a little bit more before we start talking about that.
Well, I don't think that would necessarily mean it's going to flip Bitcoin if it gets above this level, does it?
I think if ETH BTC is above, what is it, like 0.11?
So Louis, do this. Compare the market cap charts of Bitcoin and ETH. So just do like Bitcoin market cap minus ETH market cap.
Oh, shit. Do minus.
So that's dominance. So I would just do like the Bitcoin market cap chart. So yeah, that one. So like arrow down to that one.
And then minus, and then ETH market cap. just saw it.
But I think you need to do the Bitcoin one too.
I'm horrible at this, guys.
Oh wait, no,
I kind of think I'm going to
you
lose
got
my
it.
bet. Max, I'm going to be honest. I texted him that this morning.
I don't know what we would do with this, but
So a flippening will only occur when that chart goes to like get to 0 or below 0.
yeah.
Like Bitcoin's market cap minus ETH's market cap. So yeah.
0.06 is a good level. It's going to be really, really close. I think it's going to be really, really close, Max.
For our bet.
Yeah.
That's how it needs to be, man, is it needs to be close. That's all it needs.
What is it by October?
By October 1st, I think, yeah. Basically, I'm going to need Bitcoin to run with ETH because I think that ETH is about to. I don't really think ETH should be giving you many pullbacks here. I was telling this to Max before the show went live, but like theoretically speaking, ETH breaking out of 4K, you shouldn't be getting, which a lot of people are expecting. I think is like when ETH broke 4K in 2021. Price started to kind of like steady grind, top, and then or distribute and then top. And I feel like we really should be doing a lot more than that. Some jokes about, you held ETH for 4 or 5 years just to sell on a 50%, move, et cetera, et cetera. Aiden Ross talking about how ETH and crypto are going to crash from these levels. I just think there's generally a very strong level of disbelief that this is occurring.
When did he say that?
Over the weekend on stream. That he's going to buy ETH and Bitcoin like 60% lower. After he sold the ETH lows for Sol because the vape cabal told him to do that. So
yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, because that's because all the guys that were, I guess, trying to guide him completely led him astray there. He should have studied BB instead. Yeah, so that means we got room to run. Definitely in that disbelief. And that's why I kind of think we have more squeeze, right? Breaking this 4K level. Quite significant. Sure, maybe we can get some local pullback. This was a weekend pump. We all know how that goes. Are we going to retrace the whole thing? Absolutely not. This was a significant breakout. But we can see some backfill. But I think we continue to squeeze here because people are like, oh my God, like no way. Like it has to pull back now. So they went from doing this, right? This is likely what happened. Oh, told you. ETH's coming here. I'll load up the truck here, right? Now that we're breaking 4K, it's like, okay, well, we're going to get this, right? We're going to get this. And then maybe I'll back up the truck here. And then maybe you get like a little blip and then you get more squeeze. This is a significant breakout. Significant.
This is like the cleanest fourth tap so far. I don't want to jinx it, right? I don't want to jinx it. So far, this is like one of the cleaner fourth taps that we've seen. Like if you were to draw it in a textbook, Louis, I know you've literally been showing it's like literally textbook.
So clean.
What ETH is doing now. And we even got the rejection on the fourth tap on the first go around. And now we've reclaimed it. So this is
clean accumulation. This is like, it does not get much cleaner than this. This is textbook Wyckoff accumulation, likely by big money institutions. You're getting this significant breakout here, equal highs, people in disbelief. I'm telling you, we're probably going to keep squeezing and then people are going to be forced to FOMO up into here. And then maybe we get a bigger shakeout or consolidation up in here, whether it's a big scary drop or whether it's just like a time-based one, like Bitcoin did at around like 110, 114K, something like that. That makes the most sense to me. right? It's like what brings the most pain at this point to sidelined or offsides participants? It's more squeeze, right? So of course, I'm sure we see some local pullback, right? We've had this is a big, couple days worth of price action at ETH. But I think more squeeze makes sense, right? Especially if we start pushing like these two candle highs we did over the weekend, right? So we had a little pause doji candle, had potential to be a local top, but if like we start pushing this candle today, closing up in here, we're likely going to keep squeezing, right? All-time highs around 4,800, 4,900. Yeah. So it's either this or more squeeze and then this, something like that, right? So
do we like Tom Lee? Chat, do we like Tom Lee? Do we view him differently than we view Saylor? Because I kind of think, and again, this is something that I was saying before we went live. It's kind of like ETH found its Michael Saylor, who's going to have a larger relative impact on price because ETH's market cap is smaller, but he's also going to be, I would assume, much more strategic about execution than Michael Saylor was. To some extent, it almost became a hindrance that you just have Saylor top blasting Bitcoin every single day. And it's like, oh, well, Saylor finished buying. That was probably local distribution, time to close my long. I feel like for ETH, it's going to be much more calculated. I feel like we're already seeing that. They're painting the chart quite beautifully here.
It's beautiful. And we got room to run, right? We're not even back at the all-time high yet. So we're still trading at prices. And that's where I think people are messing up. They're so caught up in this. They're not looking back to this, right? Because we're still trading at prices we've seen in 2020 or 2021, right? So when you look at it in that aspect, ETH is way undervalued, right? We're trading at prices ETH was at 4 years ago, right? So it's not like ETH is trading up here and we're like, yeah, ETH's got more squeeze to go. No, ETH is trading here in the grand scheme of things, trading below a 2021 all-time high, just starting its parabolic run in the grand scheme of things. That's where people are messing up here, right? Like people like Tommy mentioned, like Aiden Ross, so they don't know what the hell they're doing. They're just looking at this and saying, oh, yeah, okay, we're getting overbought here. This is where price should be capped. And like, well, we've been trading here. We're trading at prices we've seen 4 years ago. Price is not even close to being crazily overbought or crazy high valuations. We can talk about that when we're pushing 8, 9K, right? Then we can talk about ETH being overheated locally, maybe, due for a correction of some sort, at least back above the old all-time highs at a minimum. So when you zoom out, you see the true picture is like, we are not, this is likely just getting started here. Obviously not the same as it was back here, right? Of course, but we were bullish here too. Everyone hated us, right? Calling us crazy. And look where we are today, right? So grand scheme of things, ETH's got room to run. ETH's got room to squeeze, not even in price discovery yet. Like, what are we even talking about here? ETH is still playing catch up to Bitcoin.
It's amazing how sentiment will follow price. It really is. I don't even think we've seen the full extent of how that will play out, but it is, I felt like ETH pairs were kind of communicating to some degree that this was possible. And there's still a lot of disbelief, but yeah, sentiment on ETH has flipped very, very quickly. I imagine that will continue to be the case. I think we should talk about how Sol fits into the picture too. I'll be honest, I'm not a bear on Sol USD. I actually think it looks kind of decent here after a little bit more chop higher, but I think it's going to keep underperforming ETH. So
I agree with that. It's like my attention is just not on Sol at all. There's some Sol shit coins that I think look decent, but I think there's a monster supply that Sol USD is going to be stuck under for a while. Like, I think ETH is going to blast all-time highs at minimum 45 days before Sol joins it in price discovery. So I think both will do it, but
yeah,
I'm just not focused on Sol because the Sol ETH pair looks like the dev is dumping his tokens, is what it looks like.
Sol looks
Yeah,
like
we discussed this many times over that Sol will run, but again, people first need to get rich from believing in the tech, and then they can hyper gamble their wealth again on the Sol trenches. And the Sol chart is clearly telling us that it's bullish, but not bullish right now. And what can happen is that ETH easily rallies, and you can put in number that you like. I do not want to make any predictions right now, although I could. But it could rally easily to 6, 8, 10, 15, 20K, whatever you want to put in. Sol in the meantime goes up, but it doesn't go up as much. And then, only then, it probably catches up later on in the cycle. Again, just look at the chart and how much levels it has ahead to flip. Versus ETH just flipped its 5 years long institutional accumulation range to the upside. A huge difference in that.
Louis,
That's just technical. Fundamentals are there even more, by the way.
Louis, can you go to ETH and put it on the monthly chart?
Yeah.
Sol, by the way, to me looks like Tesla did last October.
Put it in log mode.
Sure.
Or that's even fine. It doesn't matter. Just zoom in on that a little bit. Look at that chart, man. Like, I don't know how to break it to people, but like, we're going to see 8K ETH, like, within 60 days. Like, it's going to be, big. I don't know how else to explain it. Like, it's just.
Let's do this.
They heard me buy those calls live on stream last week. That's going to be such a legendary clip.
Are those printing already?
They're not. They're moving, right? But they're not moving as much as they could be for how much ETH has moved. We're going to need a little bit more.
Tommy's going to print 7 figures on that. It's going to be epic.
Did it live.
But he's going to owe me steak dinner. So really, it's going to be like just under $1 million.
Yeah, just under.
Yeah, because he's gonna have to wine and dine me. It's gonna be at least like a $600 dinner, but he'll be happy to pay it. He'll be happy.
I mean, if Tommy prints on those calls, it might have to be the whole team at that point.
That's true.
I think everyone will be happy that ETH is up.
Well, wait, what was that, Jackies?
I was saying that I think that everyone will be just happy that ETH is up.
Yeah, we'll be all right.
This is a great point, KS Media. This is a really solid point. I appreciate you pointing this out. This is new information to me, so thank you. Thank you for that.
Remember that the most prudent thing that you can do in bullish conditions is to over-rotate your bags to the thing that's pumping today.
Yeah. I think that's what you should do.
That's the best bull market strategy. Guaranteed loss of equity.
Yeah, that's what we're going to see out of Andy right there.
I mean, Tom Lee did say the fun starts this week.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, he said that last Friday. I think a lot of the buying over the weekend was kind of front running him. Or, maybe they were probably already filled or actively filling longs when that was tweeted, if I had to guess, right? But I know I would assume a lot of the buying that took place over the weekend was done with that in mind, that you have some of these ETH treasury companies raising even more money to buy ETH.
You got to think that they're also dabbling in altcoins on the side as well.
But you got to let them get filled first, Louis.
Yeah.
Or, maybe I am kind of interested to see how everything other than Bitcoin and ETH fits into the picture, because I don't know if you guys saw on Friday, but BlackRock said that they won't be filing. I don't know if I believe them, but they won't be filing a Solana or XRP ETF. I think that's ultimately very bullish right now for Bitcoin and Ethereum, because it's like, okay, well, we don't have to worry about waiting for other altcoin ETFs down the pipeline, or at least that's the public image that they're putting on. I'm sure BlackRock will have some of these products at some point, but I do think that's kind of like a bullish case for ETH here in the interim. It's like, okay, well, this actually is the best alt for you to invest in. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I don't think I believe them that they're not going to issue those products eventually, but I do think in the immediate term, it's bullish for the things that do have an ETF with BlackRock.
Yeah, I mean, they don't want to dilute their own bags, right? So it'll come, but it might just take a little longer. But XRP and Sol are going to do fine regardless, right? So that's fine with me. Let ETH run. The longer ETH can run and remain strong, the better and healthier the altcoin market's going to be, in my opinion.
And he's dead, Louis. This is heartbreaking news to me. I woke up this morning thinking it's not dead, and then I was just informed that it is. So, guys, I need a moment for myself. I don't know what to do now. I didn't know that.
Megaphone breakout on the 90-minute. ETH is chatting again.
Better get used to it.
Yeah.
I love it. Better get used to it. New paradigm.
I just can't wait for price discovery, man, because I remember so vividly last cycle when ETH finally starts sending in price discovery, it makes the Bitcoin price discovery look like a test pump. Like ETH just, oh man, it's just a vacuum,
People forgot how
man, it's powerful, bro. It is like people are paying, 100% APY without a second thought to long it on futures, and just every 1 hour flash dump just gets V recovered immediately. And it just keeps sending like viciously, violently.
People forget how it is that now they don't even want profits. They just want to get back to break even.
And Jack, that's a good point. I've said this to a lot of people, specifically with like Pepe and Andy. And a lot of the people watching the show and you guys, like we've been in Pepe for like 2 years now at this point.
Yeah.
But some people that are newer to the space, you're probably around break even on it. They've been getting chopped up for a year plus, people don't realize that like when these things finally launch, like you're not going to believe the magnitude of these pumps, like how quick they're going to happen. The compounding, the snowball of like, oh, it's plus 30%. And then the next day it's plus 30% again. And then it's plus 30% again. And it just compounds so quickly. It's like they crash upwards, So I'm telling you, like, I understand it's been a long road, but like if you've made it this far, at this point, just sit there and be quiet and wait like 60 days. That like just stay calm. It's going to happen. And just
sit there and be quiet.
Just
right?
like, yeah.
I always remember of Wilson when you say that, Max.
What's that?
I always remember of Wilson when you say that.
I don't know what that is.
What?
I can't know.
You don't know the meme?
Wilson,
we just have to survive one more week.
Oh, Wilson.
Wilson.
Just one more week, Wilson.
We just got bullish news about Uniswap fee sharing, by the way.
What was it?
That they're finally going to be implementing the fee sharing with token holders. Uniswap up 8 to 10% on the news.
Oh, wow.
Is it bearish or bullish for DeFi protocols on ETH to be pumping?
It's bullish, man. How
With
can
ETH
fee
pumping,
revenue
it's bullish.
sharing be bearish?
Let's look at total DeFi. Louis, can you type that in for us?
I think I have it. Yeah.
I mean, that's a bullish chart.
Double
I mean,
bottom.
You look at this range, and then some people just somehow will look at this 5-year-long accumulation and somehow they will say it's bearish. Somehow it
They
happens.
don't understand markets, Jackass. They don't understand markets.
I think what's really throwing people off, to be honest, is the Trump pump.
It's the timing, yeah.
Like
That screwed everybody up.
If you remove the Trump pump from the chart, it completely changes the context.
Yeah.
Because before it was like, oh, is this a head and shoulders? The head and shoulders. Now, if you're viewing it kind of like deleting the Trump pump from existence, a lot of charts really look very, very different. And I would say they look closer to something like INJ in very, very early 2023. They went a lot higher, or that chart went a lot higher. So I don't know. I think that's something that's kind of been helping me recently, is just viewing these charts as if the Trump pump didn't exist, because it kind of was a very manipulated move higher, momentum driven. I don't know. I think it changes a lot of context for a lot of charts.
Yeah,
It does, and we discussed this, and I actually have one chart here that that doesn't exist anymore, by the way. It doesn't exist because somehow, and I do not know what's your progress on this, Max, because I know you wrote them, but they deleted the crypto meme coin market.
What do they do? This?
Deliberate.
So they they randomly messaged me on X, and they were like, hey, as like a TradingView power user or something. I don't even know what that means. What do you
PowerPoint.
like? Yeah. Are there any like suggestions that you have, or like questions or something like that? And I was like, perfect. Now I have like a line of communication with them to ask them why the meme C chart is gone. And they basically sent me like an article, not talking about it, but just like listing all their market cap charts. And I was like, thank you for that, but like, why is the chart different? Like, why did you remove all the history? And then they were just like, we will get back to you, and like get back to me. But here's the thing. I think
typical life support.
I think it's bullish crime is what it is.
I agree. They're gonna get back to you at the top, be like, that was why.
It's a new ticker.
Memes. Did you know that memes just launched and there's no meme pumps yet?
TradingView is conspiring with Big Meme to sign up normies at their early
Big Meme.
But anyways, there is this, like I was saying, to delete this move, and then this is how it visually looks like, and it suddenly puts an entirely different picture towards this chart. You cannot view it anymore. I still have it saved up, and I'm not closing it because crime. But yeah, this is how it looks like, and it looks like a clean accumulation. And because of this move, everyone also thinks, the 4-year cycle. But I think you need to view it this way.
Yeah, there was crime committed, and I'm not sure why, but it's a great chart.
Do we think memes pump before fundamentals? I know that's something I brought up like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
I kind of don't, actually. I think that if you remember the end of last cycle, fundamentals pump. Memes they'll pump, right? But they kind of blow off after fundamentals start catching a big bid. I'm assuming we'll probably see a similar dynamic, like Link, Aave, like actual ETH utility pumping hard. And then you're going to see just like a ridiculous rotation into memes for a blow off. And you'll probably see the entire meme asset class like quadruple in 4 weeks.
I think so.
But it's not to say that like memes won't pump with fundamentals. I just don't think it's going to be like the 2021 DOGE rally until, ETH is it's probably 5,500, 6K. Then I think you probably start that snowball. So And by the way, nothing would make me happier than the entire asset class blowing off in like 4 to 6 weeks, and then that's the top for 4 years. Nothing would make me happier. I'd be so happy. Blow this thing
I
off.
kind of feel like we could get some mini blow off in the next few weeks, and everybody thinks it's the cycle top, and our actual cycle top is next year.
I still think higher for longer.
Yeah, you're
It's,
probably right. A man can dream, though. A man can dream, but you're probably right.
Yeah. I know. I keep spreading these awful truths, man. It's horrible. I should stop that. Just give them bear porn or moon propaganda.
Hey, we started pumping right on a full moon. I'm just saying.
Enjoyment.
We had a few super chats here. KS Media, don't worry about it, man. It's fine. People tell me Andy's dead every day. Don't worry about it. We had another one here. Do you guys think CRO chart looks ready to send? Much love to my wolf, Andy boys.
Well, maybe I can give my few thoughts on that. I don't know much about and I've never used the Crypto.com exchange, but I've constantly, through the entirety of the bear market and through the current times, I keep seeing their ads everywhere, and I suppose they kept on building, marketing their exchange through all of these years. They do definitely have the name, right? Like if you think of crypto, you go crypto.com. It's a good site to have. So it would make sense to me, but it's just me, my point of view as a complete outsider, unbiased. I do not know. Don't listen to me, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, they've lasted the test of time, that's for sure. They've continued to grow throughout the bear market, like Jack has said. They're one of the more well known at this point, as far as not being used by crypto natives, because I don't know many people that use it. I used it last market cycle, right? They had that debit card. That was a great way for me to take profits, just sending crypto to that exchange and then just swiping the debit card. That was a great feature. Honestly, in a bull market, maybe I'll go back to using it just strictly for that feature. But they've lasted the test of time. They survived another bear market. That's always a great sign. Probably going to do well, right? Probably going to do well. My one thing is, and this was just last cycle, right? So it could be totally different. We've seen tons of differences from last cycle to this cycle, was that the exchange tokens were kind of the last thing to run last cycle and actually kind of mark the top, right? So crypto.com, you see, didn't really start getting vertical until October to November of 2021. And this is when a lot of the exchange tokens sent. And then this, December 2021 kind of marked the top. So I don't know if that's going to be the same way this go around. But we'll see. But I think it likely does well, right? You have a good company behind this token. They're going to continue to make on fees. So it has bullish fundamentals as long as the exchange can stick around and remain solvent. So, and that might be something we could look for, going into this cycle, right? Are the exchange tokens pumping, like KuCoin and all that stuff? Kind of marked the local top last bull run, if anyone noticed.
Yeah, that's a good point, Louis. I keep seeing their ads whenever I watch Champions League or F1, right? It's always crypto.com. But again, I've never used them, so. And by the way, good comment, Micro Sailor.
Fortune favors the brave or the bold. I can't remember. That was the crypto.com saying, right?
I don't feel Larry. That's the best.
The
one.
bold. Must favor Louis then.
Matt Damon. The bald. It's nice. It's nice. Yeah, we're entering it, guys. It's here. It's here. Pepe looks ready to go here. Bet you a lot of people waiting for this. Front ran. This looks great. Stacked highs. Flip this level. You're going to see something like this, and then we're going to start to squeeze from these highs. That looks really good. It looks good.
Good.
What's XRP look like? Decent. Decent. Got to get back above here. Maybe like a higher low in here. Stair step. Get above. Start to go vertical. Something like that.
XRP looks like it will be above $10 next month, man.
Yeah. Like, look at on the weekly. Oh, that's the 2 week.
Unless it's the cycle top.
Throw it on log. Oh. Yeah, me and Jacobs will be unloading profits at $10. Oh crap!
Louis, I remember how everyone attacked us when we said that XRP is a good
I know.
buy, and
It's all right.
but we will soon be saying that it's a good time to unload, and they'll be telling you that you're stupid for doing so because it's going way higher.
That'll be a great sign.
I honestly, I don't think most XRP holders will ever sell. Like, no target will ever be high.
Yes,
I agree with
Yeah.
that.
that's true.
I agree with that.
That's again, that's like where you fit in and make the profit, because there are people who just perma fade it, and there are people who will perma hodl it, and those who just jump in and jump out at the right time.
Faders.
Yeah, I like $9 to $12. This is log target. I mean, this is like if we get like a crazy 6-9 month bull run, maybe. I think more realistically, $9 to $12 is still a pretty high target, but we'll see. If it does anything like it did here back in 2017, right? Like boom, big leg up, another big leg, right? So, are we here, or are we here? Yeah.
I think we are in the second one.
Yeah, structurally, yes, but where we are on the chart, technically we're here, right? But structurally, it looks a lot more like this. So,
Yeah. Well, maybe there is a pump, and then there is like a small pump later on too. Not something as in 2017 last one that went still 1,000%. Yeah.
Let's see. What other alts are looking good?
the Doge.
I meant to bring up Doge. Doge and Hype, I think, are worth taking a look at.
Yeah. Those look good here.
I actually think Doge is more likely to get an ETF than Sol or XRP, or it could happen before those two. Hot take, not from BlackRock, but
XRP just ended the SEC trial, by the way, after all those years, and it went by unnoticed completely.
Yep. That was like what, Friday? I saw that or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Honestly, I think a lot of people thought it was already over, to be fair. There was like a lot of like finishing up they had to do. But yeah, officially Friday. But yeah, now it's got the green light for anybody, right? It's officially over. So yeah, Doge is going back to its old all-time high, guys.
Prometheus, if you're watching,
He's cooked.
he's gonna
He's
have to
cooked.
rebrand to Doge Metheus for a few weeks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Max is just going to be cashing in on all these bets. The comeback.
I'm
The comeback
undefeated,
hit.
man. Tommy lost his soul bet to me many months ago. He's probably going to lose his ETH BTC bet to me.
It's gonna be really tight.
It's going to be tight. Prometheus is completely fried, though. Like, he never stood a chance.
Never stood a chance.
No, he never
What is
stood a
the
chance.
bet with Prometheus?
Doge wouldn't make a new all-time high this cycle.
Oh my god.
That's why we call him Bear Metheus.
It's Prometheus, man.
Maybe he likes pain though.
We all like pain. We do crypto for a living. What do you mean?
That's true.
Yeah. Yep.
It's been a lot of base activity recently.
Yeah.
I think we're getting close to the point where Sol on-chainers wise up a little bit more as far as where opportunity is headed. I really think that shift is going to happen very, very suddenly. Right now, I mean, it's kind of contributed a little bit to the disbelief is that Sol on-chain is still somewhat active, I think providing some decent opportunities here and there, but you're about to see a much larger wave of capital come on chain to ETH. And I think that's true, not just of ETH mainnet, but also, ETH adjacents like Base, obviously, and Arbitrum as well. That will benefit Hyperliquid. I think these ecosystems that are not Solana are really about to start to have more liquidity, more opportunity. But until that happens, it's kind of hard to visualize it or, imagine it happening because it hasn't happened yet. You're kind of projecting where you think liquidity is going to be moving. And I think we've seen enough at this point. For one, Base charts look absolutely incredible, right? Like memes on Base across the board look great. Zora obviously has been a huge winner in the Base ecosystem for the last 2 or 3 weeks. There's clearly a risk appetite on Base, and there's much more money on ETH mainnet and on Base than, well, maybe not on Base, but on ETH mainnet than there is on Solana. So just like passive capital that's still sitting there, I think just kind of waiting to be allocated for conditions to be better. I think the shift, again, is going to happen very, very quickly, and it's going to catch a lot of people off guard. I've been saying that for weeks, but hey, Sol ETH caught a lot of people off guard too. The fact that it has not bounced, it's basically down 50% from the highs, maybe more. I think the shift of on-chain activity to ETH from Sol and other places is going to happen just as suddenly.
Thank you, Joe, for the super chat. Let's talk about Pepe ETH real quick. It's a good one. So let's start with this here. Pull up RSI as well. And I mean, we could look at it really on any time frame. Just getting pretty pummeled. But we are starting to see, like, I would consider deep value down here. This is the 3-day time frame. This is the lowest that the 3-day RSI has been since literally the bear market bottom, September of 2023. I think what you're seeing right now is really just ETH returning to where it needs to be. And I guess just like ETH beta, kind of just waiting for ETH to really stick the landing. And I think that it's really as simple as this. Like Pepe ETH is just coming down into this region right here, somewhere between the previous all-time high and like this range low. This is going to be where that bottom forms, somewhere right in here. And you could maybe expand this a little bit and, you know, try to draw, you know, a compression here. We could also maybe, you know, draw something along the lows, like right here. But I think that there's some bullish pattern happening here. And this is where the bottom forms, right in this cluster. I've got a pretty high degree of confidence that that is, in fact, where it forms. I think if you flip the chart to remove any biases, this looks no different than just some, like, you know, reaccumulation where they walk it, you know, walk it higher to send it lower. I mean, this is flipped, right? But some version of, you know, some version of this, right? It's never exactly the same, but I think this is how it will play out, where it just kind of happens all at once, right? It just like slow bleed walk down, and then they rip it, right? And it just goes. So I think that this green box is going to be, I think that's going to be your area without question. And I think this is just a big prolonged kind of bull flag that's happening. And it's just going to curl up and rip. And, you know, it might end up having to be in October or something like that. But I'm not concerned about this chart in particular. We've been holding this level since April of last year, and I don't think it's going to break now. And if we pull up ETH down below for a point of reference, let's just change the colors a little bit here. You know, what we're really trying to capture is this move, right? This is the move. You know, ETH was going vertical when this happened last year, right? Like ETH really started cooking. So ETH is cooking right now, but it hasn't officially stuck the landing. Like, I think when this is finally, like, when we can confirm, like, this is actually, like, we're ripping above these highs, which, I mean, this could happen as soon as tomorrow. I mean, it's like we're basically sticking the landing. You're going to just start to see this chart bottom out, and then you're just going to see, like, the all at once type of candle. It's not a slow thing. So you could be like, oh, well, like, look how many, you know, like, look how slow we've been bleeding here, right? Like, we did the same thing right here. All these tiny little, like, 3-day candles. And then you just engulf the whole thing in like a week, right? Or 2 weeks. So it's going to be like these slow little candles, and then just like 3 weeks, and we're just like at new highs, right? It doesn't happen slowly. Meme coins and meme coin pair charts, they crash upwards, okay? So we're slow walking down, and we're going to crash upwards. So you are at an incredibly unique place where, like, you're incredibly oversold, you know, like every which way. Like MACD is super, super low, like weekly RSI is low, 3-day, 2-day, 1-day, like everything is at like historic levels of being just beaten down on these pairs. And that's not even bearish for like Pepe USD. It's like people don't realize that the higher that ETH goes, the more runway you ultimately have on, you know, your beta plays. So you should be rooting for them, you know, not cheering against it. Like, this is going to be painful for people to hear, but like, I think that the best thing that could happen would be like Pepe just kind of like reaccumulates here, and ETH rips to like 5,500. And then ETH is going to move sideways in price discovery, and then you're going to see Pepe start to move. Like, that would be ideal. The higher that ETH goes, the more runway your beta has. So that's just kind of how I view it, is like there's some, you know, there's some like reaccumulation pattern happening right here. And, you know, we'll see, you know, we'll kind of see where it ends up. But there's some attempt at a reaccumulation happening right here. You know, we could maybe draw it like this. Doesn't really matter, but like somewhere in this green box is where it bottoms, and it happens quick. When we finally start pumping, you're going to get 2-3 weeks of just insane price action. So hopefully that explains it. Hopefully that was worth the super chat.
There you have it. I like that analogy though, that memes crash down.
They crash upward.
Or upward, I meant. I'm looking at the Pepe chart.
Yeah.
Like, what am I thinking? Yeah. They crash upward. I think that's a great way of viewing it. It's just like pure momentum in the purest sense. And it's like you said, Max, it's like Pepe is great at making you think that it's a complete piece of garbage for a very long time. I mean, I remember in 2024 or I guess it was 2023 technically, how long it took Pepe or really just how bad sentiment. People were calling Pepe the Adam of meme coins in 2023 at the lows. I remember that. I might have made that joke once or twice myself even. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I don't remember. But I do remember people calling it the Adam of meme coins before it ripped 10 or 15x in basically a 1 to 2 week period. So the fact that people are having negative sentiment on Pepe while it has consolidated at basically the same valuation for over a year says a lot to the way that it trades and probably will continue to trade.
I know what's coming. I know what's coming. It's going to be great. You're just reaccumulating right here. Like you're just sitting inside of a multi, it's like a year and a half long value. And when you break out, it's going to be awesome.
What was the coin that kickstarted ETH on chain season in 2023 again? For the life of me, I can't remember.
I think, man, I don't know. Was it Pendle?
We should talk about Pendle, but
should we?
We probably should talk about Pendle. The chart looks crazy. I remember Jackus was saying it kind of looked like Sol in 2021 before it ripped. I believe, I don't want to misquote him saying that, but Pendle looks crazy good. I will happily eat words. It did not break down. I cannot believe that this chart is not just in giga distribution, but hey, that's markets for you.
Yeah. Adapting is one of the key skills to do in the markets.
I mean, this looks bullish. That probably breaks out. What a recovery, man.
I know. It really was.
I don't really have any thoughts on it other than it just kind of looks like it wants to break out, but
It's a wild chart.
yeah.
Well, it's no wonder that lots of ETH-related coins want to break out. Like, doesn't matter what you look at, whether that's Arbitrum, LDO, Pendle, Aave, doesn't matter, It's an adoption of ETH and ETH ecosystem, in my opinion, live, but in its infancy too.
Yeah, I think this is also a very interesting chart, in my opinion, is Pepe total. Like this, this feels like a big breakout brewing to me. Like I think this level's going to hold. And I think it's going to rip higher. And the room went quiet, or not.
I still
There's
think
no
Pepe's
more work
tracking
to be added.
Pepe's tracking Doge, in my opinion, still.
Yeah.
Which means it's probably going to start ripping soon. It's August. I have not seen one tweet mentioning that it's Frogust.
Frog.
And I feel like the last 2 or 3 years, everybody said, oh, yeah, Pepe's going to pump in August. And then I don't think it happened. But nobody's talking about Frogust now. So no, I think Pepe probably pumps pretty soon. Looking at the chart, it should.
It's like right here. All right. Well, I think that's probably where we wrap up the show, huh?
Yeah, I think that's probably a good spot, guys. We hope that you enjoyed the stream today to open your week. Happy Monday. Hope we all had a great weekend, like I said at the beginning of the show. But if you enjoyed today's content, you'd like to watch Market Check again, maybe it was your first time, maybe you are a returning listener, you know that the best time to, or not the best time, our time that we start Monday, Wednesday, Friday, typically is around 11:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you are looking forward to catching us again, that's when you can do it. And yeah, we are live, like I said, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But also make sure to tune in for Market Talk hosted by the legendary King Wabi, guys. He is live Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday on X. And also through our Because Bitcoin account. So you can be notified, or make sure to stay following and subscribe to both Wabi and the Because Bitcoin X account if you're looking to catch those spaces, so you can be notified not just when we schedule them, but of course also when we go live. Wabi will be doing Twitch streams throughout the week as well, so definitely make sure to give him a follow. He's been crushing this market recently. But yeah, before we let you guys depart, I'm just going to play a quick commercial for the BB terminal. I'm going to keep beating the drum that we're about to see a very large shift towards ETH on chain. I think that having the tooling to be able to conquer that sort of shift is going to be it's going to be a very essential part of staying profitable both on chain and just kind of in general for the the entire market shift that we're seemingly seeing right now towards ETH and ETH adjacent. So check out the BB terminal, guys. We launched our brand new DGen page a few weeks ago. If you haven't tried it yet, I think the product speaks for itself. I promise you guys are not going to be disappointed. So check that out. Everything is linked in the description below. But yeah, thank you guys as always for tuning in. We'll be back for another episode, not tomorrow, but Wednesday. And until then, thank you again, guys, as always. And of course, stay safe.
Tired of outdated trading tools? Confused charts, dozens of tabs, endless stress? You're not alone. Introducing BB Terminal, your all-in-one command center for crypto trading. Track your portfolio, monitor the markets, stay ahead, all in one place. From chaos to clarity, from struggle to success. BB Terminal,